How are you doing? How's your week been? My side, I've been doing some calligraphy, some weird things for me. So, hey Fantoni, welcome. How you doing? Salut Sébastien. So, okay, I'll show you what I've been doing on the camera first, so you can see. So you can see what I did. Okay, so this is one of them. There's like 3 pages like this that I wrote on a literal dip pen. Sorry for the bumping. You have to dip into ink. Naranja gang. There you go. Have to dip it into the ink. It's very fun to write with this. It does have a learning curve. So I did this whole like 3 pages like this and a bit more, and it's the base I'm gonna use for the diaries. Because just for context, let's get the browser on. It's an OG ink pen. Yeah. I bought it like so long ago. Okay, so we got... I think I got it saved somewhere. There we go. So it is one of these diaries. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna open on a random page. Whatever I had last. That's not the written page. Okay, so of all the people that wrote diaries in this expedition, this is like the one that had the best handwriting, and I did open it up. This is the guy that had the best handwriting, so I try to sort of base it off it, but still have it be sort of my handwriting, because it's really hard to exactly imitate a handwriting. Plus his pen was probably like thicker, or he wrote smaller, so the lines are quite thicker than what I did in the end. But still, I tried to make it understandable a little bit more than this, because this in some parts it's kind of hard to see what is writing. That's the idea. So that's what I tried to do, and we can see results of that's here. So I got page 1 and page 2 here. Page 1 is the first thing I wrote, and you can see that the handwriting is much worse. So in the last one I wrote, I redid most of this whole page. We're gonna change it, but this was like the test run, I guess. Second page I'm much happier with, and we're gonna be doing the third page. Am I gonna magic wand all this? No, so here's how I did it. Okay, here we got the... Here is what I scanned, and this is the last scan I did. No, with a blend diff. So I did blend diff, and if this layer is wide, and that just took care of it. There's some pencil that I might have to take care of manually, but it does retain all the texture and stuff. So this works perfectly, and it's blended. You got it. Yeah, it works very well for this, and you can see this like stuff crossed out. This many words I tried a few times because I'm bad at this cursive handwriting. So yeah, we're gonna be like cutting and be ordering stuff. But I think this last page, it's the neatest one of all. I didn't have to retry many things, so that's good. But then I put it all the little bits of writing, put them into a folder here, which I put on vivid light, and over that I put some blue just to, I don't know, because the pure black for the ink like this looked kind of weird, and this like lighter blue brought some of the texture from the paper. So that's what I did. It's not a super complicated thing. The most complicated thing was writing it itself. Why vivid light? I just tried a bunch of modes, and vivid light looked the best with this. It's not something I use very frequently, but yeah, I remember I went through a bunch of them, and this ended up. Oh, that's not the right one. Yeah, I went through a bunch of modes, and that's just the one that looked the best. See, like overlay and soft light doesn't do enough. Hard light's too much. So vivid light was good, and I could add this blue on top. That gave it some nice color. That's why I went with it. I get it on vivid light here too. Yeah, just trial and error. Like 99% of what I do. Happy accidents. Yeah. Sometimes it's just scrolling through the modes just to see, I don't know, see if there's something that can work. Especially with things like this. It's not something I'm really used to, so I prefer to try a bunch of stuff and see what sticks. So we're gonna be doing this, but before we'll finish up the visual part. This one I think is pretty much done, these two pictures. Let me know if there's something else you want me to try. And these, so I found something that bothered me about these. The block, I don't know who told me this. The block looked too perfect. Thank you, man. The block is like too cubic. As perfect as you are with sawing the eyes, at least the corners are not gonna be like so straight, you know? So I did add a little bit of wobble on the sides, but the corners, specifically the ones inside here, maybe I could break off little bits of them. So I guess it's basically adding a soft layer that has a bit of a different lighting. Kind of like it reflects more or less. Like if we put we break, for example, this corner, since the light is coming from the left, it would be less reflective than this, or less, not reflecting as much light, I mean. So we can try that, because I feel it was like too perfect. Not in a pat myself on the back, like I did it so well. Perfect as in to like right angles and stuff. Okay, so here we got the whole block, and we could try to, if this doesn't work, this patch I'm gonna try, we can go back into the layers that make this, and try to fix it there in the base layers. The edge of the ice cube, a little too soft. Might be a bit too soft in some areas, yeah. I did soften it, specifically because it was too harsh in some parts at the beginning. So I'm thinking the corners, which would be the most susceptible to breaking, should be like chipped off like this, at the very least. You know, yeah, that feels better. They're a little bit harder too, you're right. And here, there's a weird hardness. Oh, that's not from this layer, I guess. Is it the belt? Yeah, it is. I got a weird brush now because it's the one I use for touching up the text. So I'll keep it. Yeah, that's cool. Half lurking. That's good. Whenever you're happy with it, you can send an image here through here. If you want us to take a look. Okay, so I broke off this edge a little bit, and now this edge here is the hardest one because it's not as simple as just cutting it. Guess we can do a little corner here too. Just round it off. And cutting the trees. Yeah, you're a digital lumberjack. I always tell you. Yeah, but that's annoying when you're doing. Some cutting is okay. It's like relaxing and like popping bubble wrap. But too much gets old real fast. Oh. Okay, let's try. Maybe a little bit harder. There we go. So I was thinking cutting a little triangle like this. You see? Oh, this has some texture actually. Not bad. Yeah, actually this should be. Yeah, it depends. Depends what kind of cutting. Okay, so I'm gonna try to reduce that little corner here, just manually with a brush, old school. And then, third thing, I hope between all of these it's enough. We'll get a soft, white layer and paint a little highlight on the very edge. Just to make that edge a little bit more apparent, I guess. So it seems a bit too harsh there. Maybe I'll make it a little bit larger. New layer. And I don't think it'll be a like super noticeable thing. But I want to break like the perfectness of it, I guess. Gotta chip off some edges there. So I'm thinking, yeah, it should be fairly dark since it's perpendicular to the light. So the light is coming from here, and this is one of the hardest things about doing anything on Photoshop, but especially with non-typical surfaces, non-typical objects, something like eyes that let some light through. So this side is going to be lit, obviously, because the light is coming from here, and a part of it, just like any other object, just like this guy, is bouncing off, coming to us, coming to the camera, you know? But this probably is better if I just paint it on to explain my point. So if you look at this guy, the light is coming from here, bouncing off him, and coming to us, right? For this eyes, the light is coming through here. It is, a part of it is also bouncing and coming to us. But another part is gonna come through, exit this other side, and as it comes out the other side, a part of it is also going to come through and bounce on us. So this part should be lit, but this part shouldn't be entirely in shadow because there's also the light that comes through the other side. So I'm thinking, this is my thinking behind this little dark corner here, that so the light comes through here, exits through here. But if this is kind of looking at us, it is perpendicular to the light. So there's not really a lot of light either coming, like bouncing on it, or just traveling through it. That's why I'm making it darker than this side. And I don't know if it makes too much sense. This is kind of my intuition. If, and please let me know if there is someone that knows more about this in chat. Feel absolutely free to correct me. Because this is pretty much just me talking out of my ass. Will be super diffused light. Yeah, I guess it depends on the roughness of the eyes. And I want the eyes to look pretty clear, since I want the thing to be seen inside. Like, it has to be clear enough that you'll be able to see this just from reflected light. It's like not entirely realistically clear eyes. In real life, this would, if there was something in the eyes, it would probably not really be visible. It would be covered in snow too. And in any case, when they cut it, and they talk about it in the diary of that they cut it with a saw. If they did like straight enough cuts, the eyes would be even more reflective and not diffuse, just due to the surface of it. I don't know, again, intuition. And that's one of the reasons I hardly ever work with stuff like ice, because it is not something easy to work with. Let's try this on overlay stuff too. See if we can catch some of the bug behind it too. Doesn't change much, or whatever. It's not like this light is really this angle and this picture in general. It's not like you can really see the bug, but it's okay because you've already seen it in this. Like, you're always going to be seeing this one before this one. This is like the third part in the story. So I don't worry that people are just gonna see this one. Same with this one, which we're gonna apply the same thing to right now. Gonna break up the corners, the same ones we broke here, so that is these three and the one in front. So we're gonna find our eyes here, there we go. And we're gonna start by, so little one here, little one here, bit of bigger one there. And we could break it even further since it's in the future, the picture is taken after. So it would also make sense that it broke even more. Where is it? Here. A little one here. The one in the back, it's far enough that it doesn't really matter. And now this one. We obviously have this broken in front of it, which it's not bad because it's gonna help hide the imperfections, I guess. So we're gonna do it on overlay directly this time. I'm gonna first draw it. Just draw the triangle. That seems similar, I hope. A little bit further down, I guess. Well, it's a different angle too. Yeah, but still, for a bit further down. Seems better. So, Sebastian, how's your little composite coming along? The one you showed me on Instagram? Finish the first one? Oh, you finished the entire thing? Or the first character, you mean? And by the way, I'm doing this brighter because this one doesn't have the same lighting as the other one. I'm gonna try to erase this as much as possible. Oh, okay, okay. You finished the background. Well, do you have people on hand to do that? Not too difficult. Oh, okay. Let me. You do have a painting as a base, right? But let me show you one site that might be useful to you. So this. Hang on. Okay, this one I've used sometimes to do like lighting and position references to then take pictures. So with this site, you can take a little 3D character, take all the joints and move them individually, and pose a character to make a... So let's say you want them running or something. Oh, you just move it to the position you want. Then you take the lighting here, you can move it around, and then you... What's this? You can just download that as a PNG and screenshot or export. There we go. So you can download that as PNG, and there we go. You can remove the background too and stuff. So this is really useful. So you try to think what poses you want. You put this, since this is already a PNG, you put it on the background you got, and then you try to shoot those pictures of the models, trying to imitate that pose and that lighting. I don't know, might serve as a reference. I'll send the link on here. No, I'm not modeling. It's this site I just linked. It was just for Sebastian here, who's doing a composite and wanted some references for pictures. So it was something I found out about recently. I wanted to show. I've used it, so let's see. I don't know if I can show this, but hang on. Let me just put this as a background while I open it. Okay, so this is for a client. I won't say an album cover, right? So I had some ideas. He still hadn't taken the pictures of himself. I wanted to show him some concepts, so he knew like what pictures to take. Obviously, he's from Saudi Arabia, so I can't go and take the pictures. He has to do that himself. But since I'm not really good at drawing, I did this and just did a few concepts in the same vein with those 3D models, and that's what he's using as a reference. That's the idea. I just found that by following somebody, some like traditional artist, linked it on Twitter, like, oh, this is something I use frequently. I was like, ding, idea. Alright, this doesn't seem too out of place, right? Just want the eyes to look a little less perfect. So this one I made brighter because the light is coming from over, like from the sky in general. It's a very non-specific lighting, so not really making it much lighter or darker than the background and the rest of the block. Try to build a human from different pictures, like a Frankenstein monster. Oh, this just reminded me of one I did long ago. And with long ago, I mean last year. It seems like 10,000 years ago. So this one here uses a bunch of pictures to make the human, and I'm proud of it because if I told you that that it's just a bunch of different pictures, you'll see, but it's not something that's immediately noticeable, I think. So let's just take all of this, hide it. Let's see which pieces I used. So this group here called Guy. So we got the head. This is just some color on the hair. So the hair uses one picture for this part, another for the braid here. This whole side of the hair is another picture. I wish I kept the originals. They're probably lying around, like it's probably these and... Whoa. Yeah, okay, so this one part I've used for the hair. And we haven't even got to the face. Okay, there we go. So... nose, I moved a little. This is the original for... like, the base of the face and the beard. But then I added so much stuff on top. You can see it's an absolute Frankenstein. Hey Helldog, how you doing? Heaven Cat. It's like your arch nemesis. I was showing my Frankenstein monster. This is an edit I did a year ago. So you can see now I took away a lot of adjustment layers, so you can see that the hair, this part is from one person, this part is from another, this part is from, I think, the same one as this. The face and the beard is from another one. The nose is from another one. I think there's some added, yeah, some added like old person textures to make him look a little bit older. And then the body is, I believe, I don't know if I have the courage to rummage through all these layers. Wrinkles, yeah. So this, I think the body is from one guy and the hand is from another one. And you can see the, like, some changing lighting from this to this. Tried to match it, but... And the end result was alright. Especially because I added some TV lines, you had some distortion, and that hides a lot of those little things. So in the end, I don't think it was too noticeable that it was an absolute Frankenstein. Yeah, Mjolnir necklace, like the one that he has there. Old people texture. Yeah, that is some words I used. I just put some old people textures on soft light on my head, don't worry. Oh, and there's a lot of little things too I added, and all this. Well, you can see. I did a big Frankenstein there. Anyway, we've just added those little corners, cut-off corners to the block to make it a little less perfect. I don't know if it's still a bit too perfect, but we've gone a long way. So I'm pretty happy with this. This 4 actually, this, and these 2. And that's going to be the visual part of this story. It's going to be the main attraction. The IKEA glass gang, yeah. There we go. So, the first one people are going to see is this one. Hopefully it gives people a little curiosity as to what is that in the eyes. It's still not entirely visible. Then in this one, hopefully you see the worm, the larva better. And then these 2 are just to follow up on the story, give a little more context, see what they did, how they took it back. And this is the last picture we're going to see. And I think I'm going to present it mixed with the pictures. We're going to have the diaries. So let's go through the 2 I've done so far. And then we'll do the 3rd one, and this one we gotta redo a big part of it. Thank you. So, this is the first diary people are going to see. And a little context, then, and I don't know if I'll put on here, but it's gonna be over the picture as a footnote. This is gonna be the diary from, hang on, what's his name again? Something Madigan, one of the explorers from that expedition. Madigan, they call him. Christopher or something like that, I don't know. We'll see later. Anyway, this 17th January 1913. Takes place on the end of what's supposed to be the end of the expedition. So he's just come back to the base and he's telling us about the sledding party. So he said the sledding party was a total success. We mapped a large area east of the base, but the most fascinating finding was what appears to be an enormous larva, as big as a man. I'm no biologist, but McLean keeps saying it'll be the discovery of the century. McLean is the biologist and bacteriologist, I think, of the expedition. And is the guy that comes with him, the other guy in the picture. The insect was perfectly preserved in the ice. So we sawed around it and we brought back the whole block. The team had a toast to the discovery. And then just cut, like, this is not important, but for people who want a little bit of context, saying we will be sailing back when Mawson comes back from his part of the expedition, it is implied. Second page. Gotta stop them. Don't let him do that. So second page takes place 9th February. So a little time has gone by. And it's saying, it is starting to dawn on me that we are staying for one more year. By which I try to imply that unexpectedly they had to wait for a whole year in Antarctica, which is what happened. Mawson came back and told us of his tragic journey. We will miss Ninnis and Metz. So I hope it is clear with this that Mawson has come back, something tragic happened, and Ninnis and Metz are dead. That is very much implied, right? I hope that carries. But not using wallowing, the ship has sailed. Here I cut a little bit, so maybe it's missing a little context. But maybe I'll put here this year. So this year I will assist McLean in studying the insect. The crew has taken to calling in her, Margot, after maggot, yes, will not break the ice as the body might be fragile. Jeffries, the new arrival, has taken a lot of interest in the bug. and keeps coming to see it, asking all sorts of questions. He could become an annoyance. This is the end of the main part, with a little bit more cut-off stuff for people who are interested. The dogs have been fighting more than usual, yada yada. I just wanted to make those little cut-off parts on the very bottom, kind of like setting up atmosphere, like the dogs have been fighting, like more weird stuff is going on around it. And maybe if I do an extended version of this one day, then I will give a bit more context to what's happening. And, well, what we got left? It's gonna be page 3 and 4. So, well, I just placed it on here, just to see how it would look. But, well, story goes something like this. This is happening on 2nd August 1913, which is a few months after the last entry. And starts with, he broke it. That madman Jeffries completely lost his block, went in the middle of the night to the storage room and took an axe to Margot. He minced it so thin, you could not recover anything from her. All this work, and we will not be able to bring anything back to Australia. We found Jeffries outside, repeating that he had freed it over and over and over. We locked him in, since he has become a danger to the mission. So that's going to be the 3 main written parts. But then, in between, before this one I just read, we're going to be putting something... Hey, Helldog. Did cats kill each other? So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, before this one, this part of the diary I'm gonna be making right now. It's gonna be a fun little part. So I use this old page as a base. I nearly killed you. Looking for real. Yeah, get some trees cut, Antony. So I'm gonna be using this one as a base for the 3rd page, and this one is going to be told instead of through the lens of Madigan, who we've been reading so far. It's going to be told through the lens of Jeffries, the guy that goes crazy. So this is going to be like basically a madman rambling. So it's not going to be really something you read. It's more like this, which I just wrote before. Like break free from the Allies, like weird symbols and drawings of the... So we're gonna be placing this all around the page. Scared the living crap out of them. So I think let's leave this one, the crazy guy's ramblings, for the end. Let's do this one first, even though it's gonna be the last one. This is like the footnote to the story. This is the ending, the thing that closes it, and that explains what happened to the creature in the ice. Some guy broke it, could not recover anything. The guy was saying he freed it. Obviously the guys are not really believing it. They just think he's crazy, and he minced the ice so thin that he destroyed the whole bog with it. But I wanted to sort of be implied that maybe he just broke it free. Maybe it's somewhere. That's the idea. Okay, so first up we're going to be putting in this group here, which, as I explained before, is in vivid light mode and has a little blue layer over it to give it some color, just to give it that blue ink color and make it a little bit, make it get the texture from the paper a little bit. And now we're going to be fixing this up. So we got the base layer. I'm just going to copy it to have a copy of the base layer on here. And since we got a blend diff that you might not have seen, but originally you could see the whole paper, So I did a blend diff to get rid of the white parts of the paper and just keep the letters. So we're gonna remove the smart objects and then make it into a smart object again, which is just a quick way of applying that blend diff. So now it's a literal layer with just the letters, and now we can edit them directly and impose them over each other, stuff like that. And we're gonna remove the things that were badly written. You can see that here on this side I got a bunch of repeated letters, repeated words that I didn't like how they were written or whatever. He broke, for example, I didn't like how it came out, so I wrote broke 1,000 times here. So we're just gonna take the better versions of each word and put them on here. By the way, lost this block is apparently an expression from Australia from the 1910s. I wanted to include some language from the era and local too. Like, so I looked for old books that explained Australian slang, and I just took one expression from that. Lose your block. I think it's also pretty easy to understand by the context. You're saying he's going crazy, and then like this madman, and he lost his block. I think it is implied that it means he lost his mind. If you didn't get that, let me know, because I can change that for mind. It's fine. Then I think I did the lines a little bit thin. I should have made them longer. So we're gonna have to fix that. But first I'm just gonna choose the letters I like better. Because if we start moving letters around and then we find out that it should have all been different, we'll have to do it twice, so. Okay, instead here. It is very fun to write with one of those pens. Oh, I wanted to change this anything for a single piece. There's some stuff I wrote twice in slightly different ways, because depending on how much space we have, we can use one or the other. So I'm thinking I prefer could not recover a single piece of her instead of anything from her. I also think that using her instead of it and using the name that they put for her is, I don't know, it's a bit more fun. Not like the recover here. Should have done a retry, but single. Not gonna fit exactly, but we'll be moving stuff around, so I don't think it'll be a big problem. Boom here. It's kind of hard for me to do this style of R's on this style of O's. It's a lot of layers I'm not really used to doing like that. Why is the bug here? I don't know why I wrote that. And this one I don't think I'll use. The bug I don't think I'll use either. And this whole part you can see in horizontal. It's part of the first diary, which I redid. You can see this whole thing is part of the first one. It's not part of the one we're doing right now. I'll just cut it up. Okay. So this... Oh, this Jeffries I'm gonna change for the other one, which looks better. There's also some pencil you might have seen. There's just me trying to note down some stuff. Some of it came through, so hopefully I catch all of it. That's a good thing of scanning them and then making them digital. I can just modify them, move them around. Okay, so I like the... That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take the numbers from this one. There we go. And the letters from the other. There, so we've chosen the final text, hopefully. And now we're gonna try to make it look like the other one, so a little bit bigger. And then we're gonna have to move some letters around, because I didn't plan it well enough. So hopefully by just moving letters, we can just pull everything up enough that we'll have the whole message in here. I think that's the right size. Had to do a similar thing for the others, the other parts, because I don't know. I should have just noted down better the final sizes on the page where I wrote them, but sometimes that's hard. So we're gonna take all this, middle of the, I think it's gonna go up there, middle of the night actually. Actually, let's do something. Change some grammar around, because I think it makes more sense. Say went to the storage room in the middle of the night, not the other way around. Oh, did this get cut? Why? I don't know. Make this into a new layer. There we go. That should be a bit easier. Do this whole moving around. We lost a little corner from this Y, but that's okay. There we go. Yeah, I think each page looks... the handwriting looks a bit better than the than the one before. That's why we did the whole first page handwriting. I'm trying to move letters around a little bit so we can fit another word in. Close, but not there. Also, since it's handwriting and it's messy, and you can get away with a lot of warping. Not too much, but so it helps. Especially if it's next to the corner like this. There's supposed to be a little warping there already on the curvature of beige. So that's taken care of. Does hosting work in the new interface? Because I didn't check too much that thing specifically. So what I saw by going into my own channel page while I was hosting somebody is that it just went into my normal channel page and just said in a little corner like, check out this stream from whoever was live. I don't remember who it was. You don't have it? Oh, then they still didn't roll it out for everybody. I have it already. It is... I don't know. There's some good stuff, but a lot of kind of ugly stuff, to be honest. So I like that it has... Let's take this whole line. I like that it has space for a trailer. I don't know if I'll make one. I like that it has the videos directly when you get into the page and someone is offline. Instead of having to go to videos to see the older stuff, you'll get like the recommended one on top, but you get all the videos below it. So you can go, it's more comfortable, you know, for people who got in, maybe don't know how Twitch works too much. There's some quality of life stuff like that. There's also this schedule page in channels that shows not only the schedule you can put, because now you can put a schedule officially, but also the actual streaming times, like when in the last week, what days, what hours did they stream. So I think that's good just to see if you're seeing a streamer you haven't seen before, like how often do they stream. It's better than just taking the word for it, because a lot of people have schedules and they're not real. They're not true. Actually, I should change mine because I'm streaming much later than I say on my schedule lately. My whole schedule has been moved due to quarantine. I wish I had a schedule. Well, for me it was quite useful to make one, and it made me way more consistent with streaming. Even though sometimes, I mean, due to whatever reason, you have to cancel a stream, but you let people know in the Discord or whatever, and it's not a real problem. But it's good for yourself, you know, to set a goal for yourself. And the more consistent you are, obviously, the more people are gonna come in. Because if you always stream the same hours, same days, well, just people put you in there. I'll make it a habit to watch here. So for me, it's been good for a few reasons. For just productivity and also for viewership. For me, it's better, like, and I understand it because I prefer if a streamer I like has a consistent schedule, because then I don't have to put notifications on my phone and stuff. I just know that they'll be on at this hour, and when I check Twitch, they'll be there. Yeah, I've seen you. I've seen the notifications on the Discord, and I always miss it because I'm sleeping until super late. Okay, we could fit this perfectly. We don't have to take away any text, which is good. There's still some stuff I'd like to modify a little. There's some words that I wrote very close together, or the other way around, and just for consistency. Also, we could put some, I already actually have some from the other ones, and it fits. Not exactly, but lines, so we don't have like letters up and down moving around. Yeah, looking at this, I don't know if the spaces between lines are very consistent. Fairly. Not the best thing ever, but... So you're a morning person. Or at least productive in the morning. It's like the opposite of me. Let me know, by the way, if you see like any specific word that is not readable or confusing, or anything in the writing. Since English is not my first language, it's very likely that I made some grammar errors, and also I'm trying to talk a little bit old-timey, so that makes it even harder. So let me know if you pick something up. So in page 2, a few things. I wanted to add something like this year. So this year I will assist McLean, because it was kind of out of context. Before, there was a whole phrase here, a whole sentence that said, a ship has sailed, yada yada. I said, we will have to make the most out of this year. And next it said, I will assist McLean. So by removing that sentence, I feel I removed a little bit of context. It feels kind of weird that it just goes from lamenting that they'll have to, that the ship has sailed, and to directly saying what they will do. Yeah, we can go through the 3 pages. Oh. Gotta disable this. I always forget to. Well, it's not like this is very color sensitive. I don't know if the stream picks it up though. It's the blue light filter on my computer. So page 1, which I'll be redoing the... Actually, let's do that. Well, if you guys want, you can give it a quick read. Whoops, sorry about that. So as you can see, I redid this whole mess. So I'll be grouping all this up because there's a lot of stuff. We'll merge that. There we go. And I gotta remove everything except for this. Where the points here. I think I rewrote the whole thing. Lore of SOT? What is that? What does that stand for? Sea of Thieves? Oh, I never played that game, but it always looked interesting to me. Okay, let's get... Oh, there's some... I gotta mess with quite a few things here, but we'll do that. So, this goes out. This is from the second page. It's just some words I wanted to repeat. We'll do that next. Yeah, you're not really lurking. Sorry to break it to you. I mean, not like I mind. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Apply layer mask. Oh no. It's slightly too long. Let's see if just by squashing it a little bit I can get away with it. Looks good. Some crossed out stuff. That was, I repeated. There we go. So you can see my how much better I got at the handwriting. If you read this first part here, just me just trying it out. And now this part. I think I got a bit better and more consistent specifically. Oh, let's scratch my tablet. Gotta change my nib. Yeah, I where did I buy this? I bought it years ago at how I say, like a little market where people sold and handmade stuff. It was just some guy that did woodworking, and he sold me this little stand with the ink and the pen. And I barely used it for the next few years. But it's always like nice even for decoration. The ink is perfectly usable still. So I pulled it out for this. So I say thank you, me, from years ago for this weird impulse buy, because it served a purpose years later. I don't think this would have come out like that if I didn't have this pen. I don't actually know how I would have done it. Maybe just with a normal pen and try to replicate that style. But obviously it won't look as good. Oh, I started way to the left here. Yeah, let's try it. Gotta move it a little. Oh, that's some wonky lettering. Looks better. Although I'll get one. I'm sure you can get something similar to this from the internet. Maybe not like handmade by a dude in market somewhere, but okay. So this is like the first part that I rewrote, but it's not the all of it. There we go. That's the rest of it. So I think it's until toast to the discovery here. Needs to be a bit smaller. That's good. I think I need to make the rest also follow the same line. I really thought I needed one. So I had this fountain pen. It was not like this, like dipping pen. So it had ink inside, but it had a cut tip instead of having the pointed tip. And that was so fun for handwriting, and I actually thought about using that one for this, but I didn't have any ink and I didn't have any cartridges that fit it. I don't know where I can find them. It was so fun because since the tip was flat, you could write like super thick lines if you wrote with the tip like this, and if you angled it, you could control the thickness of the line. The tip bends. Yeah, this one, I don't know if the camera will pick it up very well, and it's full of ink too. But you can see the tip here. If I push it a little, it's not focusing on it. Let me put the big camera. Focus, you dumbass. Not really. But anyway, if you can see a little bit that if I push it, the tip expands a little bit, and if you push a bit harder, you can get thicker lines. Okay, so we need two perfectly preserved Indias from here. To discovery. There we go. So we're gonna do control this, apply layer mask. There. So this I ended up writing on the side of the page because it didn't fit anymore. I think we're moving everything left a little. So it doesn't follow the same line exactly. I gotta rotate it, I think. That looks better. So now, this part down below. Okay, I'll do this. Control Shift J to cut it into a new layer. There we go. And really this is... I don't know if I'll even include it. Oh. It's like the very bottom, and I'm just cutting it down the middle like this. Just for people that want a tiny bit more context for the next diary, where they say Moslem came back and yeah, there were like a couple of guys died, so we had to, the ship sailed without us and we had to stay for 1 more year. Toast to discover here, which is from this layer. I push it a little to the right. Okay, so let's check it against what we had before, which, let me just pull it because I think I had it in JPEG. Diary 1. Yeah, I think it's clearer. It's way more readable, right? Feels a bit more... It doesn't feel exactly straight, right? Yeah, I think it goes down a little. Okay. Let's take everything and slightly turn it until it fits. Probably have to... Yeah, we'll have to move some lines a little bit too. I think that's be fine. Oh. That looks a bit better. Maybe just ever so slightly nudge. Oh, it's snapping. It's bothering me. Whatever. Nudge a few of the words. Keep doing Control S, but at least I'm saving, so it's not a big deal. This one doesn't feel entirely straight either. Especially the B here. I mean, that's my fault, because I can't write straight even if I put some little lines to write on. This is the end result after tweaking, after writing everything a few times. So don't think I write that like that in IRL. Definitely not. This line here, I gotta move it up a little. Also the magic of digital editing can make everything look better. Yeah, I'm happy with how it's looking now. Definitely better than the first try. Yep. Okay, so this first page, I'm happy with it. This one is gonna have a lot of text, as you can see. I tried to cut it down as much as possible, but still I didn't want to lose any important context. The second page, there's some stuff I don't like especially, but it looks better than the first version of page 1. If it bothers me too much, I might even go and redo it like I did the first one, since it also took me way less the second time, because I already like internalized the handwriting style. Because I have, and it's gonna look different because I'm gonna do it digitally, but I have like very specific ways, I think we all do, of doing letters. But for example, I've always done my G's like this, right? This guy does them like this. And just getting used to this different ways of, if I do an O, I'll do it like this, right? So and this guy did it, how was it? Like this. A lot of things like that. If I do an M, I'll do it like this. And this guy does it like this. So as I was trying to imitate a real handwriting from the time, I had to change my way of doing things. Yeah, and it's good. It's fun to do. It's fun to get used to the B's, which I always do like this or like this. Let's do them like this, which is how I wrote him when I was a little kid. It kind of felt weird. Lots of little things like that you don't really notice. All the capital letters are super like stylized and very cool. So I tried to do the T's like he did, like this, and then just continuing. The M's like this. It has some very cool capital letters, and these are all taken from him. Well, some I didn't find, like say the I, capital I. Sometimes I just did this when it was writing it, but not in the beginning of a phrase. So I just made one. It looked similar. The H, same thing. I did do like this, which that was the coolest one, but not in here, I guess. It's in this loop. Oh, the R's were the hardest ones. I never, ever, I think even as a child, wrote the R's like that. It's like a very old school style. I always wrote in like separated like this. And doing them like this, it's like trying to rewire your whole brain. So that's why at first it looked so like much more wonky like this. I was still trying to do the O's and didn't really get them right. The B's still weren't. Some were more like mine, some were more like his. Huh? Anyway. The Donkey Kong songs are so good. This is my enormous streaming playlist. It is now 24 hours long, and it's mostly either like small artists that do that let people use their stuff for streaming, or video game music, or remixes of video game music, so stuff that can't be put through the Twitch algorithm, so that way it doesn't get silenced on the if you want it for your streams. I think if you do music or something like that, it gives you the link to the playlist. Or maybe not, maybe with Spotify. There it is. That's the Spotify playlist. So all those, you don't use Spotify. Oh, okay. In any case, if you, for your streaming playlist, if you have one, you can check the artists that I put on there, and you can get the... You can just download their music or put them on YouTube or something, and it should be fine. You put it on, you don't even listen to it. Yeah, it's kind of a background thing. All the music I put is not very... It's like very background, kind of chill music in general. Because, I mean, it's good as a background. I don't want it to be the main plate here. Can make this slightly smaller. So I got a little margin. Okay, so we got page 1, page 2. Now the page 1 looks the best, and it's annoying me. Still, I don't think I'll get a super consistent style as much as I try between all of them. Get the dog line lower. Do you allow or hahaha? If I'm talking to people in Spanish, like, and if I'm chatting to people, I'll use hahaha. It's like everyone does it. It's actually kind of weird if you don't. It's a good shorthand from implying a casual tone, I guess. Do you have a Finnish equivalent for that? Okay, what is this layer? 22? God, all these are in different layers. There we go. In Finland, you don't laugh. Oh no. That does sound very Finnish. But I found Finnish people to be very funny, but in like a deadpan way. In like, they can be really funny, but they say all the funny stuff in a very serious tone, which makes it even funnier to me. So if you're chatting to, if you're texting someone, and you wanna like laugh or just put something to imply it's a casual tone. Like, if someone asks you something, instead of saying yes and looking like an asshole, would you say yes and put an emoji or something? In Spain, we would put a ha or something, because it's just, I don't know, a tonal thing, not so much as every time you put it, you're laughing. It's not like lol, which means more like this is funny. I'm gonna take this and separate it into a different layer, because I'd like to move the rest, but leave the date there. Also, the broke here, I think I wrote it separately so it doesn't have the same curves as the rest of it. Gonna do a little trick here. Gonna take the lower part of this G, Let's see if that works. I'll copy it, Control J. I'll put it down here, because I don't like this stunted weird G. Oh, I've seen that in Finnish. Yeah. The face with the D. The more D's, the funnier. Yeah, so I think that's the, I guess the equivalent to jajaja in Spanish. I think many cultures have it. So English is sort of different in that way. They don't really have that specific thing. But I know that, I think it's Koreans use 555. Because I think the pronunciation for 5 sounds similar to laugh. Or the onomatopoeia for laughter. I don't know if it's Korea. I might be. It is. There's somewhere that there's one culture that does that. Let's see. So. Thai people. It was Thai people. I don't know why I thought Koreans. This accurate stereotype Finns. It's cringe to show your face on the internet? Really? That is strange. Oh, then you're a different Finn, because you have your face on your profile picture. Now they feel more. And I also changed the book in the background, so you can see for January here, I took something, it was actually from the end of the book, but I flipped it so it looked like it's the beginning of the book, like there's still a whole year of diary behind. February, I took a left page and had like a few pages here that looked like it's still kind of in the beginning. And August, it's actually the same one as the January, but flipped and a little bit cropped. So it looks like there's a bunch of months behind it. My friends are afraid of social publicity. That's weird. Spanish people are basically the opposite. Or like the I don't know, polar opposite. And I'm not a normal. I'm kind of introverted compared to most Spanish people. But still, that seems weird to me, that not using your face and stuff like that. Feels very different. Okay, so this page we're seeing here looks like it is it was one of the pages at the very end of a diary that was very weathered and more weathered than the others, and I was lucky enough to find this sort of empty page that had a lot of scribbles, kind of like different sizes, different, like very messy. It was like the notes page probably at the end of the diary. So I did a lot of scribbles, and we're gonna try to put those on. Yeah, you are the opposite Finn, and I'm the opposite Spanish. Spaniard, I guess. This is not gonna be a page from the same guy as the rest of the diary. It's actually, so as you can see in the second page here, he notes that some guy named Jeffries, which just arrived, starts taking a lot of interest in the bug. So we're gonna have this page, then probably one of the pictures, like this one, and then we're gonna have this page, and it's gonna be from Jeffrey's diary. So you can see firsthand how absolutely crazy he was, and he was like worshipping the bug and stuff. And then you'll get this page, which is actually page 4, with the first guy again telling you how Jeffries completely lost it and broke the ice and destroyed the bug, or freed it, who knows. Ah, you found it. There it is. Well, there and there. This is like a test. Like I was just doing some symbols to put on here. So we're gonna do like we did before and do a blend diff. And this is pencil. So I also kind of blurred it, and so this one might be a bit harder. So we'll just, well, I don't know, if we... Okay, let's try to apply this. And then make it darker. There we go. That's more or less what I wanted. Okay, so that is sort of what I wanted. I just found the IKEA glass. Oh yeah, IKEA squad. I kind of wrote this wherever, willy-nilly, because I knew I was gonna place it. I didn't have the placement thought since the beginning. So I just wrote a lot of stuff. I'll probably use half of it, but a few things. First, I wanted a drawing because that was cool, and I drew this. You can see the original here. So I drew this trying to think how a crazy man would draw. So just chicken scratch and taking the pencil like this. Very imprecise, but trying to do the bug and make it recognizable still. So that's what I wanted. I wanted a drawing, I wanted some symbols, because I wanted to put my signature in those symbols. And then I wanted some writing, kind of like, I gotta break it free and don't trust the others. That's more or less what I wanted to do, and I just wrote a few things. And if I want to write more, we'll first place this. And if we feel like it's not enough, I can always write more and scan it, and I'll put it on. Doesn't matter. Okay, and this is pencil, because as you can see, this in the back is pencil too, so we have she's strapped on 2 different fonts, so I guess I'll commit to one. This one looks better. And I need to, let's just say, free her next to the bug, maybe. I'll leave one of these scratch symbols. I'll leave a signature one. All scratched, kind of badly drawn, even though it's here too. Okay. I'll remove this one for now, because we'll take it from a separate layer. We'll have a layer for the text and one for the drawings. How about that? I tried a few different styles of writing. So this is more like closer to the one on the rest of the diary. well, more closer to my handwriting. Then I tried uppercase, a mix of this one I liked, mix of uppercase and lowercase. And then I tried this really doctor handwriting. Just to mix a few different handwritings. This one is the same as the case one. Okay. So just mix it with the writing in the background. Have a lot of different ones all over the page. Maybe we'll do some of them a bit clearer, since some are not especially visible. Some are better scanned, I guess. This one. This one. Oh, I can't trust Madigan. Madigan is the guy that writes the rest of the diaries. I thought it was a nice detail. And I'm leaving, trying to leave a big space in the back, in the middle, for the drawing, for the big one at least. So let's try to blend diff just for the drawing. Okay, because it does have some shading. I basically pass my finger through it. There we go. Yeah, that's more or less what I wanted. Kind of reduce the opacity a little so we can see that, or maybe we can try. Oh, that's good. I like hard light for this. I kind of like hard light, even though it does leave a like some white outline. It's maybe not the best. Vivid light is the one we used for the letters. But it makes it look like ink instead of pencil, so I don't want that. Whoa, that is creepy. I kind of like it in opposite and luminosity, actually, because it does keep the color. Yeah, I like luminosity because it looks more weathered, you know. Let's do that in the other one too. Luminosity. Maybe we can even Control L. Darken it a little so we can read it better. There we go. Getting there. This one maybe should be like the main event here. Breaker free. Although we can't see this side of the A, so we could take one of these dry media brushes. I never remember which one does what, but you can always try. See which one looks more like a pencil. I don't really like this one. Oh, this is good. fun tip for you guys. Every time you're using weird brushes, especially brushes that are fancier, save before, because it's not the first time that I try on a brush and the computer goes nope and it crashes Photoshop. True story. Record free. Okay. Then we got this one, which I'm gonna put more towards the corner. Maybe we'll turn it around a little bit. We'll put it on luminosity like the other. Maybe they'll need a little blur, just to make it look more like this pencil. Let's try on a Gaussian blur. Oh, that's not the right one. Here. Just a tiny bit. Like 0.5 or something. And for this one, 0.5. 0.5, 0.5 for everyone. A great concept artist. My skill set is very limited though. Concept artists usually know a bunch of, like, I don't know, either 3D modeling or... well, not all of them, I guess. A lot of them do the old photobombing, which is just taking a picture and painting over it, which I have done. I've actually done a few times. Make this a game? I wish I knew how to make games. This would be a good game. God, there's not enough games about exploring the Antarctica. You gave devs in chat. Get on it. I mean, I'm not gonna assure you're gonna sell a lot of games, but you're gonna sell one. I am gonna buy it. Just moving stuff around, see what looks better. Where? This one here seems a bit strong. So I'll move it to a new layer and reduce the opacity, maybe give it a little Gaussian blur. Calling Activision. Hey, can I speak to Activision, please? Okay, so we've dispersed everything around the page, and I feel like we either need to fill it up a little bit more, or make what we have a little bit bigger, blow it up so it fills more of the page. Hashtag hire the worm guy. Valdevia. Gotta change my name. Starting now. This is my new name. I'm the worm guy. Yeah, this one that says the others are lying. This is good. Not all of them have to be like super clearly readable. It's more for atmosphere, for effects. Let's just wrap it a little bit bigger. Hey, true, you have the little penguin. Little Phil. Let's just take everything and put Valdevia in the end. Like this one because it also doubles as a pickup advice. Just go over there and break the ice. Also do a little erasing on the parts that are more too dark, maybe. Just with a layer mask like that. Okay, what other messages can we put on here? What else is missing from this guy? Let's make it a little more gray. Same with the other drawing. To darken, there we go. Put that on low opacity. Okay, just for reference to maybe write later and scan like I did for the others, because well, we can also try and draw it with our pen, our fake pen. Not this one. I think it was this one. Yeah. We could do well, that's something that sounds like a cult. Like he's worshipping the bug. And I use her because it also fits that the rest of them gave her a name and called it a her. Because it makes it more, I don't know, if it fits together, right? It's like it's putting those thoughts into their heads. It was creepier than it. Yeah. Yeah, it gives it a little more personality, I guess. Like more like she's an animate object instead of just a dead bug in case it dies. Just gonna erase some parts since it's pencil. I can imagine that if this diary went untouched or just weathered for a long time, a lot of the pencil, like this one here, would be kind of messed up. Personality. We're linked. Mental link. Just making everything bigger, because why not? I was feeling more like it. Okay, what other crazy phrases can we put? Like, I love her. A little heart. A little kissing emoji. Oh, for real. Okay, what are some cold sayings? Like maybe something like directed to her, like "save me" or something like that. Like very very small in a corner, like. It's kind of hard to do handwriting on. Let's see if I can draw that. Like. It's more like it's dying laughing, right? I don't know. I don't. That's just from memory. Just leave this here. Kill the story. What is this brush? It is in the dry media brushes. This one. I just tried a few, and it was the one that looked more like a pencil. I think it's the default Photoshop ones. It's actually not that bad now that I've tried it. I never mess with this kind of brushes. That is no. That's looks like a Mr. Wonderful. I hate Mr. Wonderful. Mommy. We could just give her a little... Much cuter now, right? We could give her eyes, but like creepy ones. Something like that. Yeah, just to give her more personality or something. I don't know. Kinda weird though. It's already like pretty dark, so adding more darkness on, like, pencils not work like that. If I had drawn it like this on white, then yeah. Eyes, not eyes as in... Oh, I could encase her in eyes, like in the... like the actual one. I felt like it was too... I don't know. It didn't add anything, so I just drew it on... and made it like a circle around it. Kinda like here. Kinda like it's a ritual circle of some kind. Oh, some runes! How about some, like, weird runes going all the way around it like this? Maybe not all the way, but maybe like a few in one in each corner or something like that. Runes, like... runes. What are some cool runes? Hang on. Go to the browser. Let's go occult symbols. A list of occult symbols. Now it's a bit too much, like drawing a pentagram. Overdone, right? Maybe... yeah, you can link. Oh, we got a few here. Oh, what are those? Where did you get that? I like some of this. Where are those from? Let's copy that image. Anime runes. Yeah, that's cool. I'm copying them on the document right now. We're just gonna get a few like this ones too. And try to make our own. Anime plus anime runes, I love that. Okay, let's make some cool runes. I like this one with this crossed circle. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's handwritten. And I chicken scratch it a little too. Okay, that one's cool. He uses the word for stuff. I like that. I mean, you're right though, because anime has a lot of really cool world building. Even if you don't like the stories, and a lot of the anime I love is due to the world building. It's insane at art. Yeah, true. That's true. Studio Ghibli clouds are the best. But like, for example, yeah, absolutely. If you look for runes, you'll get runes from the fictional world some weird anime creator made. But there's such good world building that, yeah, it's very good for inspiration. Like, you could look for the runes from Full Metal Alchemist. They have a lot of good ones, actually. I could pop those up. I'm sure there's somebody that has. That's the one in the brother's armor. Oh, these are very complicated though. They do have a ton of little symbols on them. They use a lot of, well, it's about alchemy, so obviously they use alchemical symbols all the time. Oh, it's not very good quality. There are some cool ones here too. It's copying a bunch of... Wow, this guy. Okay. Do you know Afro Samurai? No, I've heard about it, but I think I've never seen it. What? Color balance? Oh. Paste. There we go. I love how when you do this and it just copies it with a transparent background. It doesn't matter, I just want them for inspiration. Okay, so I kind of like this one because it looks like a bug. It looks like a beetle. I promise it's a PNG, I hate that. It's so annoying. We could do more, here's a very similar one actually. We could do more bug-like runes. Let's see, what are some... Because that kind of looks like a beetle. With the pincers. We could do... I don't know, a bee, but that would be... It's kind of hard to do, like... Make it into a symbol. Let's see if there's any good ones. We're doing world building on the spot here, you guys. So get your details in, because that might be, I don't know, who knows, could be an important world building thing somewhere along the line. Let's see. Oh, that looks like the Pokemon Unown? I don't know how it's pronounced. reminded me of that. It looks like a centipede. That's cool. I like that. Oh. Let's try something like that, just to make it in more or less the same size as this one. Simplify it maybe. Into maybe a square or something, and the little legs that come out. It's a 4. Oh, my razor is too big. Hey Wheeler, how you doing? Naranja, yeah, it's very orange chat right now. So okay, you got a lot of stuff on it. We are making diaries to go with this images. You probably saw. So this is gonna be the first image, second image, then hang on. The third one, I already cut the bug. and put it on a sled, and fourth one where it's in storage. So this is the other 4 pictures that are going to tell the story. And to go with them, we're doing a few diary entries. So first, it's gonna be, I'll just do a quick, too long didn't read. Retouch bugs. I'll do a too long didn't read version. First diary entry is one of the guys we see in the pictures telling us about his trip and how big of a discovery it's gonna be. It's gonna be amazing. So excited. Second one, it is the guy telling us an actual thing that happened in his expedition, that they had to stay for 1 more year due to an accident. They had to stay for 1 whole year in Antarctica. It was supposed to be a 1-season expedition. They had to stay for a whole year until the boats could come back. They had to go through the whole winter. Kind of starting it in there. And he also starts talking about a guy called Jeffries. So it says, Jeffries, a new arrival, has taken a lot of interest in the bug. He keeps coming to see it, asking all sorts of questions. It could become an annoyance. Just mentions it offhand like that. Then third diary we're going to be seeing is the one I'm doing right now. And this is Jeffries. His diaries. So we're jumping from this guy with good handwriting, clean pages, all that, to Jeffrey's diary, which is just pencil, chicken scratching, a lot of drawings, like basically absolutely crazy. Lost his mind over it. And finally, we're moving to the final diary entry, which is the same guy again from the beginning, is explaining the fate, the ultimate fate of this bug. So the guy, the crazy guy, is constantly saying she's trapped, we gotta break her free. The others are lying, I gotta break her out of the ice, right? So we jump a bit forward in time, and we got Madigan again, the first guy, saying he broke it. The madman Jeffries went completely mad, broke it, and he minced it so thin that we cannot recover a single piece of it. So I kind of want to give the I don't know, did he just break it so thin that they couldn't recover any piece of the bug? Or did he actually break the bug free? Say, we found Jeffries outside, repeating that he had freed it over and over. We locked him in since he had become a danger to the mission. So that's how we end it. That's like the final point, to just explain what happened to it. Because obviously, if this had been a real thing and the bug had been brought back to Australia, it would be in a museum right now instead of in my story. And I felt like it was, since the other 2 stories we did, it ended very tragically with someone dying. Originally, I had thought about the guys from the expedition, like the 2 guys in the sled that we see here, never coming back, disappearing. There's just some documents we find, but it was a bit too much of a repeat of the other two stories. So I went with this because Jeffries was a real guy that really was in this expedition and that really went crazy. Let us pull up the actual story. So it happened during the 2nd year, same as I wrote it. And let's see, 2nd season. So the wireless operator, Jeffries, was initially a conscientious and respected member of the group, but from mid-June, his behavior began to deteriorate. He became moody and aggressive, challenging his hutmates to fights, mumbling to himself, developing a persecution mentality and neglecting his personal hygiene. This was alarming enough for the rest of the group, but then when the wireless masts were re-erected in August, Jeffries began sending out wild messages, claiming that the others, apart from Mawson, had gone insane and were trying to murder him. So they had to obviously relieve him of his duties, and yeah, and he never really recovered. He came back to Australia and ended up in a mental asylum there, and died a few years later in like the 30s or the 20s. So this is actually like based on a real story. So I'm taking this real thing that happened and kind of changing it slightly to involve this bug. Although there's something that I was thinking about it, and it's if you use a real name from a real guy, even though he's been dead for 100 years, is there any chance that the family could do anything to me? I don't know if he left any family. I don't know. It doesn't say on Wikipedia. This could be a movie. This should definitely be a movie. And I've skipped this is the story from the second year. The reason why they had to stay a second year was because Mawson, which is mentioned on here, then see that he mentions Mawson came back and told us of his tragic journey. We'll miss Ninnis and Metz. So what he means here is that, hey Hitzel, how are you doing? What he means here is that, or what's referring to is the expedition, the part of the expedition that Mawson, Ninnis, and Metz were in. Two of them died in the way back. I would be more concerned about the bugs. But that part is real. That there was an expedition of 3 people. They went to map some area, and they got there. When coming back, one of them, I don't remember if it was Ninnis or Metz. I'm going insane. Hey, Hades. I don't remember if it was Ninnis or Metz. Fell into a ravine with his sled and with pretty much all the food they had. So the other 2 had to come back a really long way without food, pretty much with just one sled and a few dogs. And the other guy ended up dying of frostbite. And Mawson, which was the leader of the expedition and the only survivor of those 3, had to shoot his dog or kill his dog to eat him because he didn't have any food. Ended up trekking back all the way with a broken sled to the base and arrived just a few hours too late when the boat had already left. So the boat had to leave because if it didn't, the ice would block the exit. They just had a very specific time frame to leave. So due to this whole tragic story, he ended up arriving too late, he missed the boat, and he had to stay for 1 more year. That is why they had to stay 1 more year. Very funny adventure. Yeah. Kind of tragic. But yeah, and that's why it's a very real story, a very, like, as you said, like, it's for a movie, this story. It's so interesting. And yeah, I wanted to sort of use this as a base and add my own little. 1 more year is fine. Imagine staying the whole winter in Antarctica. They basically, most of that year, or most of the winter, they were underground, basically. Just surviving off the food they had. And there were like 5 people the second year. So it's kind of understandable in that context that a guy would go insane. And he did. And that's what we're doing here. We're doing his diary. But we're changing it slightly, so it's crazy because of a bug. Not worse than the whole summer in Brazil. He survived. Yeah, they survived for the whole year, and And then the boat, once it could go through the ice, or once the ice was thin enough that it could go through, went back and got them. They probably just had enough food for the year, because they were probably just stocked up just in case. They had problems before? What do you mean? Cold ice water and die? That must not be a great way to die. In any case, that's the base we're writing the story on. It's already a very interesting story. But what we are adding is that during one of those expeditions in the first year, they find this encased in the ice. And one of the two people that find it decide to, during the second year where they're stuck, they decide to study it further. And then there's this guy Jeffries, goes crazy, breaks the whole thing, and they're very disappointed. All this work and we'll not be able to bring a thing back to Australia. What if they didn't want to leave? Can you imagine? Yeah, let's just stay there. They did a lot of really good science in that expedition and mapped a whole bunch of the continent. And that's one of the reasons, or that's the main reason, that Australia has a really large territory in Antarctica. The Australian zone is huge, and that's mostly because of this and other expeditions. Yeah, in 1913. And okay, it would have been weird, because imagine guiding yourself with a compass pretty much next to the South Pole. Like, compasses don't really work well. You can't, there's a lot of interference, and you have to guide yourself in a basically barren ice wasteland. You have to guide yourself just with the sun and the stars. Like, old school. It's very cool. It's very cool, those expeditions. We were saying with Fantoni before that someone should make a game about, or movies. Like, it's so unexplored, and it's such a cool part of history. It's like that last bit of, or that last hurrah of exploration, or that people exploring new parts of the world. This was completely new to them. So yeah, we got 4 pictures, 4 diaries, although one of them is not something you really read. It's more like a tone piece. And yeah, it's gonna be twice as long as the last one we did. So I hope people have the patience to read through it. Banter for ancestors were not eyes. Yeah, I don't think the South Pole, Antarctica, has that much. That's more towards the north, I believe. I'm not sure. I'd be completely wrong. I don't know how the seasons exactly work there. Although there is a winter, there is like a cold and a hot season, a warm season. It's the same as the Southern Hemisphere. That's why they, as you can see from the times, which are real times in the expedition, they're about to leave, though they don't, in January. That's like the end of their timetable, and in February it's when they begin to get stuck. So you can imagine in August here, when this happens, when this whole debacle happens with breaking of the bug and stuff, it is middle of winter there. It is the coldest time of the year. Imagine sleeping for 4 months. Yeah, they should have just waited until global warming. Let them do this. They were impatient. Oh, we had a few things before I forget. So, okay, for those that got here later, this whole thing you're seeing, I wrote it for real. And I wrote this with an actual old school dip pen, because you have to dip in ink. It's a little bottle of ink. So you have to dip it and write. It's so fun. So I wrote it, tried to make it look close to some of the handwriting that the people from the expedition had. Yeah, a bit bigger. So this is all I wrote. Oh, sorry for bumping the mic. This is all the stuff I wrote. I scanned it and I put it on a page from an actual diary from them. And this part I also did and scanned, but I did this one in pencil. And I did the little drawing, did everything there. There we go. So I scanned that and kind of placed it around that very old looking page. So when did he come back? So this whole thing happened between 1913 and... So they arrived like December 1912, like beginning of 1913. They were supposed to leave on January 1913. And they had to stay for one more year, and the boat came back for them in December... I guess December 1913. I don't even remember how to write on paper. Yeah, it was kind of a learning process, because it's not an easy thing to use. This it has. I was showing this before. And it's kind of hard because the camera doesn't really focus, but it has a tip you might be seeing. If you push it, it separates, and it lets more ink out, and you can use that to control how thick or thin the line is, and that's kind of hard to get used to. That's why there's so much writing compared to what you're seeing right now, because I had to repeat a lot of stuff. Try with my Wacom. Should have used this. Yeah, and then it was just before World War II. Actually, the photographer from this expedition, the one that took some of these pictures, I don't know if all of them, is a really interesting character. The guy was the official photographer for this expedition, and then for the Australian forces in World War I and World War II. And I wrote a little thing about it on Twitter, which is a fun thing to write. Hang on, I'll pull it up for those that didn't see it. So the guy was, and he's shooting to this day. Exactly. So hang on. There's a thread I did on him, so it's just easier to explain it with a thread. So this is the guy. His name is Frank Hurley, and he shot all this, or most of the pictures that we see from this Antarctic expedition, and then went on to do pictures for both World Wars. And look at what he did. This thing here is a composite. This is a bunch of pictures mixed together. Look at that. Bunch of negatives, old school composites, and he became controversial because of this. Because it was seen as not ethical to do something like this in war photography. And the guy died in 1962, so he was pretty old for the Second World War, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of his pictures from World War II. It's more famous for the first one. So you can see he added this sky, or he added explosions. It's kind of interesting. he got really criticized for it, and he nearly got kicked out of being the official photographer for the Australians. But in the end, he was allowed to do it as long as he only did like 6 composites like this. We'll be streaming tomorrow. Not tomorrow, probably on Wednesday. 2 days from now. It's good to see you, man. See you whenever I catch you again. 24 hours. You can see me tomorrow here, just dying. Yeah, Sketcher was an interesting character. Alright, have a good one, Wheeler. Okay, so here's what I wanted to do. I had this scanned version of the diary, which is just the page I scanned. And I have a few things from that page, which I just did a blend if on. You want to see how it looked. That's this basic scan. But there were a few... Okay, here. This year I wanted to take this and wallowing this. Just some words that I didn't like from this page and I wanted to redo. Simple as that. So, and here's a shorter version of what I did for all these letters. First, I did a blend if, which you can get to if you double click on the layer and you get to layer style. And you can say that, so what blend if basically does, if you've never used it, is it says if this layer is white, blend it, so make it disappear. So this is basically taking the white parts of the image, and as you pull this, you'll just take the brightest parts and remove them, and you can do that from the other side. Remove the dark parts. So I just did this to remove the background, and then I put it in a group here that is on vivid light, and there you go. Once I put it and I put a little blue on it, it just got that nice ink color. So wallowing here I don't like, so let's select whatever layer that was. There we go. I got a lot of, because I separated into smaller layers to make them easy to work with, and now I have tons of layers for the same block of text. So I'll just take this wallowing, make it slightly larger. There we go. I don't like that it mixes with the Y here. And that little edge there. That's just because the blend if I did isn't perfect. I'll just remove it. Hang on. Need a harder brush, I think. There we go. Just let it mix a little. There we go. Anyway, that is one word. And then I wanted to add this year here just for a little extra context. We'll get this layer. We'll move the I will a little bit. Put it to the edge. What layer is this? This one. Okay. So this is a good thing about making it manually and then digital, is that I can mess with it way more. I can have fun with it. I can choose the best version. You're an early riser and early to bed, right? I envy you a little. Thank you, and have a good night, mate. My naranja brother. Naranja. Just notice that this was really skewed. Also make it slightly shorter. That way maybe this will fit. I don't know. Okay, maybe we'll do so that this year here, we'll leave it as is. We'll take the I will, as we often do, separate it into another layer. Oh, wrong combination. You can't Control Shift J to cut it and separate it. There we go. So I'll get the I here and the will to the next one. And we'll just move the other line. Try to take all this, which might be several layers, so it might be a bit annoying, but still. Hopefully fit everything into one. Okay, what layer is this? Let's find it. Okay, so assist my clean in. So that's why I kind of cut this like a puzzle, because I didn't plan ahead too well, so just gonna separate it in pieces and then combine. In. It's so annoying. That is why you plan ahead, you guys. Ah. Than the crew has. Hopefully that is all. No. You know what I'll do? This is very stupid at this point. I'll just merge everything. And hopefully I didn't break all of it. Or mess myself up in the future. Just have to do a tight selection around some parts. That's cool. no problem with that. That should be good. Oh, so much easier. Slightly short. That's what happens when you move one thing. Still, I think it's gonna be worth it. We also get to make some of the words look better. A bit tight, but it's good. Should be alright. Just do a very small opening here to mix those letters together. Same here. Just because they come with this white edge sometimes, just from the blend diff we did. There we go. Okay. So that should add a little bit more context. Okay, should I remove this? The little, what's the name of these things? Quotation marks, I think. Whatever they called. Quotes, yeah, I guess. Should I remove the quotes from the hair? I don't know if they add anything. Let's leave him. Doesn't matter that much. Okay, so back to this and doing little symbols, which we got distracted from before. We're trying to draw some, I don't know, good looking runes. To put around our bug here. And I was trying to do runes inspired in insects. That still look sort of like a rune. Oh, you know what? Maybe. So this one is supposed to look like a beetle. This one maybe like a centipede or something. We could do like this on top. I was thinking about this ones, this Nordic runes. And to try to do like a centipede-like thing with the little legs and the face. Although we can do like more of a face or something. Might be a bit too complicated though. Like this. I kind of like this one. Okay, we got two sort of runes. We can make those a bit longer. Not make it so thin. Okay, more bug-based runes. There are some other cool bugs. A spider, I guess. Let's reduce a spider to its absolute essentials and make it into a little symbol. What's a spider like? This. This and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8 legs. How can we reduce this into something way more simple? Guess we can do a circle. And the legs, right? I'll just copy the others and mirror them. Is that spidery enough? We can take it and make it more or less the same size as the others. It doesn't. Actually, let's switch it around. It's not entirely symmetrical. Maybe do a little this on the front. It might be too spider-like, I'm thinking. Like, it looks too much like a little drawing of a spider, instead of a rune that kind of reminds you of a spider, which is what I want. Maybe if we remove those. Or just change where they go. Yeah, that's more like it, I think. Feels more like what it should be. Like what I was talking about. Making runes is weird. Trying to make it sort of symmetrical is weird too. What? Huh. There we go. All right. That's more like it. That is 3 runes. I guess we can do one more like this. What should we make? A butterfly is an insect too. We could do something like a butterfly. Okay, so what's a butterfly? Let's reduce it to a symbol. Alright, Hitzel. Thank you for sticking around. See you. Have a good night. Okay, so this is a very simple butterfly. You can try to reduce it to more symbol-y symbol. So like 2 circles. Trying to accidentally not make a dick, by the way. That's a very important thing when you're making symbols. But this doesn't look too rune-like. Try not to make a dick. Try not to make a dick. This is hard. Some cool runes we can use. Oh, we got 3 of them. We could use my signature for the other one and screw the butterfly. Since it's already pretty rune-like if you make it like it. For those that don't know, this is my signature. What I'm doing right now. And it's always hidden in every single one of my edits. So if you're bored, you can go and look at my older stuff. And you always find the symbol. All the older and the newer stuff. And it's already on here. But since we're doing runes, I guess we can put it on twice. Whatever. Okay. Get rid of the inspiration. Okay. So we can put this one here. I guess I'll put them in the same, like around the bug in this position. Flip it vertically. And just to add a little flavor. Could also do this ones, which I kind of improvised or based off different ones. So you can see there's this one. At a base of, well, the one I use as a base, I think it was just like this. I just added another line because why not? I think it's the alchemical symbol for sulfur or whatever. This one I just made up by doing lines and see what came out. This is my signature. We already used it, and this one. Just wanted an eye-like thing. That always works if you're doing creepy stuff. Eyes can always be creepy. This is an eye with multiple. So we can also use these ones. Why not? Since we already have them. Since we're making up symbols, you guys. Not this one. We're just missing one, I guess. To fill up all the corners. Have a more complete looking thing. Okay. Sometimes just drawing something like, I don't know, a square. Yeah, doing stuff, see what sticks. I guess this one has a little tail. A lot of them have that little tail, so do something like this. And it's too much like a pentagram, isn't it? But it isn't. Just drawing triangles. It's a different kind of star. It's not very symmetrical. I'm not good at this. Who knows, if we draw enough symbols, we might release some demon or something. Who knows? Should go to corner, I guess. Kind of hard to make right. Yeah, but this one's pretty cool. I'm just making them the same size as the others. Put it here. Okay, so we got a bunch of different funny looking symbols that we're gonna put with a little blur on it, so it matches the rest. On luminosity, let's just make it slightly brighter so it gets that brown color and the mosquitoes flying around me. There we go. And let's just get the soft brush and soften it up. Okay, now this one I gotta get rid of. Oh, what is this? Because we already have my signature enough times. Gonna overdo it either. Okay. Something like that. Oh, looks like a chat died for a little minute there. So if you said something in the past few minutes and I didn't answer, let me know again. Oh. Okay, the big breaker free here. I gotta separate it a little from the symbol. Or maybe put it next to a symbol that doesn't look so much like text. That way there you don't get mix-ups when reading it. So rotate 180 degrees. Get this one. Need to rotate it. Yeah, a bit better. What else? This one was very fun to make, this type of writing. It's really like channeling my inner doctor handwriting, which I really gotta be careful not to do. It's fun because it's basically writing like basically how a lot of doctors write, and one of the reasons it's so hard to understand is because they kind of write in a line and go very quickly, so all the letters get stretched out. I've seen a lot of doctors that write like that. So it was fun to channel that. Okay, I think we've done enough. Been on for 3 hours, which I usually go a little bit longer. But I don't think I have much more to do, right? Remove this. It's not that much. Just to review what we've done for people that might just be popping in. This is a series of pictures I want to tell a little story with, and it's going to be told through the pictures and diary entries, which you've just seen before. So this is the first picture, is them finding the thing, and second picture is them, it's like more of a close-up, a closer look at it. Then you're going to be seeing the first page of the diary, which is them really happy and explaining what they found, and this is going to be the discovery of the century. Everyone celebrated and had a toast to it. But then you'll be seeing some more pictures, which is them sledding back with it, bringing it back to the base, and leaving it in storage. And you'll be seeing that they have to stay for 1 more year. They're stuck in Antarctica. And this guy, the writer of the diary, along with a biologist, they decide to study the bug during that year, since they don't have a lot to do. They mentioned that they're calling her, and they're calling her Margot. So we gave it a name. And he mentions that it's a guy that's kind of weird. It's new. Nobody knows a lot about him. His name is Jeffries. He's asking a lot of stuff. It could be kind of annoying. Then we jump from February to around July. And we said Jeffries' diary. If you can see that, yeah, he's not only interested in this bug, he's completely obsessed with it. And probably paranoid. Probably like hearing voices from it or something. And we end it with a final diary from the first guy that is explaining the fate of the bug. What happened to it? He explains that Jeffries went completely mad, took an axe and just went ham on the ice block and destroyed it. This is saying that he minced it so thin that we could not recover a single piece of her. So it's implying that he either completely destroyed it, or maybe he actually freed it. And that's how we ended, kind of on an uncertain note. I don't know. Writing is not my thing usually, so it isn't very new to me in this, only in this edit, but in the ones I've been doing before. It's a very new thing to me, and presenting stories in general, but doing it with pictures and with writing, a mix of the two. Although the writing is not too much. It is, if we combine all the pages, this is like a page and a half of reading. It's not doesn't even qualify as a short story, a very short story. So there is a little bit of writing, but I want the pictures to be the main attraction here. And the big bug encased in ice to be the main attraction. Let's see, we have a to-do, which, it's in Spanish. But that we've already done. And that is a little thing that I forgot about. In this second picture we're seeing, there's this really shiny head that I don't really like. So we are going to take this, take a soft brush, and paint out some of that specular highlight, because there shouldn't be specular highlights in something that is dark and in the very non-specific lighting from the cloudy sky. So no specular highlight for you. Also, this probably should be taken care of. And at this point, it is just painting. That's fine. Let's see. Yeah, it makes sense. If there is some highlight, it's very little, and it's up here. There we go. So, I think that is it. You've seen the whole story. If nothing goes wrong, or if I don't think of anything major different from this, you'll be seeing the whole story posted tomorrow to everywhere, to my Twitter, to my Instagram, to my website. All sorts of places. So you'll be seeing this, you'll be seeing the full thing. If you want to give it a good read and try to look for the little details, little Easter eggs, you can do that. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me.